Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Automotive Cybersecurity Engineering series. I'm excited to present Episode 4, where we'll dive deep into AUTOSAR fundamentals. AUTOSAR is the software architecture that powers modern vehicle intelligence, and understanding it is absolutely essential for anyone working in automotive cybersecurity. This is going to be a 12-minute journey where we'll explore everything from the basics to advanced security concepts. So let's get started. Today, we'll cover 5 major topics. First, we'll understand what AUTOSAR is and why it became the essential standard in the automotive industry. Second, we'll compare classic and adaptive platforms and learn when to use each one. Third, we'll analyze the security-relevant layers that are critical for protecting vehicles. Fourth, we'll dive into how AUTOSAR security protocols like SecOC and IDS actually work. And finally, we'll identify the attack surfaces in both classic and adaptive platforms. By the end of this episode, you'll have a solid foundation in AUTOSAR that will help you in your cybersecurity career. So why does AUTOSAR exist? Let's go back in time to understand the problem. Before AUTOSAR, the automotive industry faced 3 major challenges. First, there was no standardization. Each OEM and Tier 1 supplier developed ECUs with their own proprietary software. This meant zero reusability between projects. Second, there was no interoperability. ECUs from different vendors couldn't communicate properly, creating integration nightmares. Third, there was a complexity explosion. Maintenance costs skyrocketed and development time kept extending. Now, look at where we are today. Modern high-end vehicles contain over 100 million lines of code. That's more complex than a fighter jet. The average car today has over 80 ECUs, and the complexity has grown by 4 times over just the last decade. AUTOSAR was created to solve these exact problems by providing a standardized, open architecture. So what exactly is AUTOSAR? AUTOSAR stands for Automotive Open System Architecture. It was founded in 2003 by major automotive players including BMW, Bosch, Daimler, Continental, and Volkswagen. Today, the consortium has grown to over 350 members, including OEMs, Tier 1 suppliers, tool vendors, and startups. The adoption rate is impressive. Over 80% of global OEMs are using AUTOSAR in their vehicles, and the market is growing at 10.5% CAGR through 2033. But here's the core principle that makes AUTOSAR so powerful. AUTOSAR provides complete separation between hardware and application. You have the application layer, which talks to the RTE, the runtime environment. The RTE connects to the BSW, basic software, which then interfaces with the hardware. This separation means you can port your application software to different hardware platforms without rewriting everything from scratch. Let's talk about AUTOSAR Classic Platform first. Classic is designed for safety-critical real-time systems running on microcontrollers. The architecture looks like a pyramid. At the bottom, you have the microcontroller hardware. Above that is MCAL, the microcontroller abstraction layer, which provides hardware-independent APIs. Then you have ECU abstraction and basic software, which includes communication drivers and memory drivers. Next is the service layer, handling diagnostic, network, memory, and OS services. The RTE, runtime environment, sits above that, acting as the middleware. And at the top, you have the application layer with your software components. Classic has 5 key characteristics. It uses OSEC VDXOS, a real-time operating system for deterministic execution. It's signal-based, communicating via CAN, LIN, and FlexRay messages. Everything is statically configured at compile time. It's ASIL-D ready, supporting the highest safety integrity level. And the entire stack is written in C language for embedded systems. Now, let's look at the security-critical modules in Classic Platform. MCAL is marked as critical because it provides direct hardware access. A misconfiguration here can bypass all security measures. Communication services are high risk because CAN and LIN drivers handle all message transmission. The memory stack is also high risk. NVM, PHY, and FLS modules manage persistent data storage where secrets might be stored. Diagnostic layer is medium risk. UDS access can be exploited if not properly secured. Crypto services are critical. The Crypto Service Manager and Key Manager protect all cryptographic operations. And RTE configuration is medium risk because it controls intercomponent communication routing. Here's the key takeaway. Each module's security configuration is not independent. A single mistake in any layer can weaken the entire ECU security. That's why layered security is so important. Now let's move to AUTOSAR Adaptive Platform. Adaptive is not a replacement for Classic, it's a partner. They collaborate, not compete. Adaptive is designed for high-performance computing on multi-processor systems. It's built around functional clusters. You have execution management for application lifecycle control. Communication management handles service-oriented communication. Persistency manages data storage. Update and config management enables over-the-air updates. Time synchronization keeps everything in sync. Log and trace provides debugging capabilities. And platform health management monitors system health. What makes Adaptive different? It uses service-oriented architecture instead of signal-based communication. It has a POSIX PSE51 OS interface, making it portable across Linux and QNX. It supports dynamic deployment and updates at runtime. It uses Ethernet and SOM IP for high-bandwidth communication. It's written in C14 instead of C, and it supports VMs and containers for isolation. Let's compare Classic and Adaptive side by side. For hardware, Classic runs on microcontrollers, while Adaptive runs on multiprocessor SoCs. Classic uses OSEC VDX-RTOS, while Adaptive uses POSIX-compliant operating systems like Linux or QNX. Classic is written in C, Adaptive in C14. Classic communicates over CAN, LIN, and FlexRay. Adaptive uses Ethernet and SOM IP. Classic apps are statically deployed at compile time. Adaptive apps can be deployed dynamically at runtime. Classic is ASIL-D, capable for the highest safety levels. Adaptive typically targets ASIL-B. Classic has limited OTA update support. Adaptive has native support for over-the-air updates, and the use cases differ too. Classic handles powertrain, body control, and safety functions. Adaptive handles ADAS, infotainment, and gateway functions. Here's an important concept: Classic and Adaptive coexist and collaborate within the same vehicle. They complement each other's strengths. Let me show you a typical domain control unit architecture. On the left, you have Classic ECUs like the engine ECU, brake ECU, and airbag ECU. These connect to a domain control unit that runs both Classic and Adaptive. The Classic platform side handles real-time control, CAN-LIN FlexRay communication, and safety-critical tasks. In the middle, there's a SOM IP bridge that translates between Classic and Adaptive communication. The Adaptive platform side handles ADAS processing, infotainment, and OTA updates. On the right, you have high-level services like camera fusion, path planning, and the HMI. This is how modern vehicles are architected, using the best of both platforms. Now we're going to dive deep into security. We'll explore SecOp, IDS, the crypto stack, and attack surfaces. This is where things get really interesting for cybersecurity engineers. Let's start with SecOp, Secure Onboard Communication. SecOC provides 3 pillars of protection. First, integrity, ensuring message content is unaltered. Second, authenticity, verifying the sender's identity. Third, freshness, preventing replay attacks. Here's how the SecOC process works. Step 1. You start with the original PDU, Protocol Data Unit. Step 2. Generate a MAC using AES-CMAC algorithm. Step 3. Attach a freshness value, either a monotonic counter or timestamp. Step 4. Transmit the secured PDU over the network. Step 5. The receiver verifies the MAC and freshness value before accepting the message. Some implementation details. The MAC is truncated to 24 or 32 bits for CAN-FD to save bandwidth. The freshness counter can be monotonic or timestamp-based. Keys are derived from a master secret. You can use per-message keys or global keys depending on your security requirements. But there are challenges. MAC generation and verification add latency overhead. Extra bytes per message cost bandwidth. Freshness synchronization between ECUs can be complex. And key management adds significant complexity. The good news? AUTOSAR SecOc is now being implemented by nearly all OEMs. It's becoming the new security standard. Next, let's talk about IDS, the Intrusion Detection System. IDS monitors security events across the vehicle. The flow works like this. Security sensors like SecOC and E2E protection generate security events. These events go to IDSM, the Intrusion Detection System Manager. IDSM filters noise using QSEV, quality scoring for security events. Valid events are sent to IDSR, the IDS reporter. And finally, reports go to the back-end SOC, Security Operations Center. What does IDSM do? It collects security events from multiple sources. It filters noise using quality scoring. It correlates events to detect attack patterns. And it reports findings to back-end SIEM systems. What kind of attacks does it detect? Repeated SecOC verification failures might indicate someone trying to inject fake messages. Abnormal message frequency on CAN could be a denial of service attack. Unknown ECUs sending messages is a clear red flag. Diagnostic commands from untrusted sources need investigation. How does the system respond? It logs every event with timestamp and context. It can trigger local countermeasures like blocking the sender. It reports to the back end for correlation analysis. And if an attack pattern is confirmed, firmware can be updated to patch the vulnerability. Now let's look at the crypto stack and HSM integration. The crypto service stack has 5 layers. At the top is your application or software component. It talks to CSM, the crypto service manager. CSM uses KRYF, the crypto interface layer. CRYF connects to either software or hardware crypto drivers. And at the bottom you have the HSM, hardware security module. The HSM plays 6 critical roles. First, it's the root of trust for secure boot verification. Second, it provides secure key storage and tamper-resistant memory. Third, it accelerates crypto operations like AES, HMAC, and RSA. Fourth, it handles key derivation to generate session keys. Fifth, it has a true random number generator. And sixth, it provides tamper detection to alert on physical attacks. The HSM is basically the security brain of the vehicle. Let's examine the attack surface of Classic Platform. In the center, you have a Classic ECU with MCAL, BSW, RTE, and app layers. On the left side, you have 3 attack vectors. Communication spoofing attackers inject fake CAN messages. Memory tampering attackers overwrite calibration data. Diagnostic unlock attackers exploit UDS access. On the right side, you have 3 more attack vectors. MCAL misconfiguration hardware access bypass. Key exposure leaked cryptographic keys. RTE config hack routing manipulation. Here's the critical point. Classic ECU has a static structure, but a single misconfiguration in any layer can collapse the entire ECU security. That's why defense in depth is so important. Adaptive Platform has a different attack surface. Adaptive has rich functionality, but its dynamic nature creates a larger attack surface than Classic. Let's look at 6 major attack vectors. Dynamic app deployment is high risk. Malicious apps could be injected via OTA. The fix? Code signing and manifest verification. Persistency cluster is medium risk. Unauthorized access to stored data. The fix? Encryption plus access control. Log and trace is medium risk. Sensitive data could leak in logs. The fix? Sanitize logs and restrict access. Update and config management is critical risk. Tampered update packages could compromise the system. The fix? Digital signatures and rollback protection. VM isolation breach is high risk. Attackers could escape from the virtual machine. The fix? Use trusted hypervisors like Zen or KVM. Some IP service is high risk. Unauthenticated service discovery. The fix? Use TLS and end-to-end protection. Let's look at some market data. The AUTOSAR middleware market was $485 billion in 2024. It's projected to reach $1192 billion by 2033. That's a market CAGR of 10.5% from 2025 to 2033. And global OEM adoption is over 80%. Looking at platform market share, Classic Platform holds 58%, while Adaptive Platform has 42%. But here's the interesting part. Adaptive has the highest growth rate at 14.8% CAGR. ADAS and safety applications represent 38% of the market, the largest segment. Some key trends and metrics. High-end vehicles contain 150 million lines of code. AUTOSAR provides 30% development cost savings. There are over 350 AUTOSAR consortium members. And there's a global developer shortage of 4 million in 2025, which means strong job security for those who learn AUTOSAR. Let's wrap up with 5 key takeaways. Number 1. AUTOSAR is the international standard for automotive software. Established in 2003 and adopted by over 80% of OEMs, it's the key to managing complexity. Number 2, Classic and Adaptive are collaborative partners. Classic handles real-time safety functions, while Adaptive handles high-performance computing. They coexist in the same vehicle. Number 3, security must be considered layer by layer. From MCAL to app layer, each layer has independent attack vectors that need protection. Number 4, CQOC is the new standard for CAN security. Its three-pillar protection, integrity, authenticity, and freshness, is being implemented by nearly all OEMs. Number 5, IDS and CryptoStack are the backbone of defense. Intrusion detection, crypto acceleration, and key management are the core pillars of modern AUTOSAR security. Thank you so much for watching. You now have a solid foundation in AUTOSAR fundamentals. In our next episode, Episode 5, we'll dive deep into CAN bus security and attack methodologies. We'll look at real-world attack scenarios and learn how to exploit and defend against them. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You can reach me at jackwang02@gmail.com if you have any questions. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next episode.